All right, let's do it.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bro Read This Book podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Duncan.
I'm your other host in London, Matthew Meadows.
Coming at us from across the pond in a very
This is
special episode of Bro Read This
yeah,
Book.
very special. We've got really fun lighting. It is 12:30 a.m. I could not sleep. So here we are recording our first ever international podcast. There's been
You
times
know
where
you
I've
have
been
a successful
overseas.
podcast when it's international.
Yeah, we're probably gonna interrupt each other a few times. I would assume here. Um, the connection's not great, but we'll make it work. There's been times where I've been overseas where we could have done this, but we never did. Um, but now that we're big time, we got to make it happen. Can't miss a week,
No, you got to keep it rolling. Got to do it for the fans.
dude. I am so tired, but like it's physical. Like
Yeah.
I'm there like mentally, um, and like I don't feel sleepy, but my body is
hmm
so tired. I walked 40,000 steps yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. I've never done that
That's
in my
wild.
life before.
I don't know if I walked 40,000 steps this week.
So let me tell you what happened. So we'll get into everything else, but let me tell you what happened. So I went to Oxford yesterday. Uh, Obviously, where Tolkien worked, taught at Oxford, is currently buried there with his wife. Um, so I get to Oxford and I'm like, I'm gonna go see the grave. I'm really excited. I look at my Google Maps and it's an hour long walk. Uh, an hour long walk, and I'm like, okay, I could take the bus or I could walk, and it would be like a little Hobbit adventure. And, and so I decided that the best thing to do would be to walk 1 hour this way and 1 hour back. And so I did, and I walked 40,000 steps. I don't know how many miles that is. It's a few at least. Um,
For sure.
and so my legs hurt so bad, and I walked like 20,000 a day. Um, so I'm like bedridden effectively. Um, but but it's been good, man. How's your week been?
It's been good, man. It's been good, and I'm getting a nice 3-day weekend on behalf
Oh,
of
really?
our country's founder, George Washington. Maybe not a popular fellow where you're at right now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
I
have
get
to
a
ask.
3-day weekend. Since our project is basically running late anyway, we're not going to work through this holiday like we did for the last one. So, yeah, I'm geared up for a whole long weekend and it's going to be really great. And I'm
You
very
did?
excited about it. Done a lot of reading already.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
I nothing crazy. Like we're doing just normal weekend stuff, and then I think I'm probably gonna try to do like a little book shopping on Monday.
Nice.
I
Me
uh,
too.
I got a voucher for a massage for Christmas, and so I might do that on Monday as well.
Dude, yes. Absolutely, you're
Yeah,
gonna do that. Hold on, I gotta
I'm
adjust
all
here.
about that.
Ugh. This is the only the only the only place that the Wi-Fi works in this room is in the bed in this one specific spot. Like if I were to
It's
move my
probably
laptop
because of
over,
the bar light.
it might be if I were to move my laptop over like a foot, it would this call would end 100%. Uh, so we're just gonna try to make this work. Um, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Did you? I I lost what I was saying.
You're talking about the weekend, not like the
I
center.
think I had pretty much no, I think I had pretty much gone through everything that I had, and lots of reading. in the
Yeah.
off time. I
Yeah.
finished 2 books yesterday that I'd been working on for a
Wow.
few days, so that was nice.
Dude, you're
Yeah.
really pulling ahead of me. I
Am I?
I yeah, I have not been able to read uh on the trip as much as I had hoped. So I was gonna listen to audiobook on the plane, but I
Mhm.
I don't know, I just couldn't do it. Um it's something about there's just a lot going on when you're on a plane, I think. And so adding to that outside of like music or anything just like feels like a lot to deal with.
Mhm.
And so I've traveled a lot in my life. I've been to a lot of places. It's different now though because I'm pretty much solo. Um, like my sister lives in London and we hung out today and we're gonna hang out tomorrow. But like Thursday, Friday, uh, and then this upcoming Monday and Tuesday, I'm pretty much on my own. Um, so the mental energy that it takes to like figure out what's going on in a different country, like being on your own, trying to navigate, is a lot. Um,
Yeah.
which I didn't anticipate. Uh, I don't know the mental like strain that it would take to figure out everything that was I needed to do or everything I wanted to do, how to get there, how to make it happen. Um, I didn't expect
Yeah.
to walk 40,000 steps in one day. Um, so there's just been a lot of unexpected things that have happened on this trip. But yeah, I'm still like 13 books. I'm reading currently the fifth season by N.K. Jemisin, which I'm not sure if have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like it's really intricate fantasy. Also tough to read right now at this exact moment because a lot of brain power. Um, so about 100 pages in on
Okay.
that. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. Um, it's got a really interesting kind of magic system, question mark. Uh, I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, but it has to do with like tectonic plates and like earthquakes and all that stuff. It's very interesting. Um, and then
Hmm.
actually yesterday, so I did a little book shopping yesterday. Um, I went to a place called Gulp Fiction, which first of all, that's an awesome name.
Nice.
Um, and they had this thing where they had specific tables where if you bought a book from one of those tables, you got a free coffee. So I go in,
Okay.
um, and I buy a book, obviously, from the table, um, called Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Um,
Yep.
and I'm very excited to read it. So I think I might actually bump that one up because I'm gonna have a couple days here, and then I'll be in Portugal for a couple days after I leave London. Um, where a lot of that time, ideally, will be spent at cafes and coffee shops and stuff. Um, so I might bump that one up a little bit to kind of I don't know, just not something so I don't think it's not like emotionally like investing. You don't have to be invested in it. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just getting into a fantasy series when you have a you, you, it, uh, might pivot a little bit and start
Yeah.
Never Let Me Go, which is cool. So yeah, I'm really like it's awesome cover too. I would get up and show you, but I don't want the call to drop.
Yeah, so that's the same author as Before the Coffee Gets Cold, right?
I don't
Isn't it?
think so.
Or is that what you're looking for is at the library?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll have to look into
I,
that later.
yeah,
But I think
I'm
if
not
it
quite
is
sure.
the same author, I think it's kind of perfect for what you're describing
Yeah, I
as far
actually
as your
almost
reading
bought.
situation.
I almost bought that other book. I almost bought Before the Coffee Gets Cold because I saw it.
Yeah.
It's on the same table, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to get the other one because I had heard somebody say it was their favorite book
Yeah.
ever, and so I was like, oh, let me give it a go. Yeah,
Nice.
man, that's where I'm at. I felt a little like a poser because I had like all these plans. Where I was like, I brought a couple books with me because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read so much. I'm gonna have so much
Yeah.
time to read. Um, it has not been the case at all.
Nice.
But I've been having fun, so it's all good, I
That's
guess.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Was there? I was gonna say something else. I forgot. It's gone. Oh no, it's not. It's not gone. Um, I will be Monday. I will be going around the city of London to every bookstore that I can find. Um,
Okay.
used bookstores, not used bookstores. I'm gonna try to hit as many as I can on Monday. Um, and then in
That's
Portugal,
cool.
I'm I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. Um, in Portugal, I'm gonna try to see if I can find a Portuguese edition of Lord of the Rings, um, which would be so sick.
That'd be fun.
That would be
Yeah.
so cool. Because my
Dude,
sister got me that
so
Dutch version.
I was at Half Price Books today and they had a box set of, I'll just pull it for our YouTube audience since I've got my Tolkien shelf right behind me in this setup. Um, they had this set but sealed in the box for like $30. I didn't pick it up just because I already have this edition, but it was pretty sick.
You didn't buy it?
No, I mean if you want it and I need to make an emergency run tomorrow, I can. Um, just let me know. But yeah,
Oh, I do want it, but Jack texted me today, our friend who works at Half Books,
have
and
him get it.
so he sent me another edition, another set. It's the three
Oh,
paperback like movie tie-in set, I think at least. Um,
hmm,
it was like $12, and
yeah.
so I bought that through him. so, so don't worry
I
about it. But that's crazy though.
okay.
Sealed?
No, that one wasn't sealed. You know what was sealed? So they had two box sets of Lord of the Rings. It was wild. The other one that was a box set and it was sealed was the one with the funky pictures. So they had a box set. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, I'll pull it for reference. They had this
Oh,
set,
dude, I I love this set.
but sealed.
That's funny. Was it the black one or the colored one?
It was multicolored.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Just
I,
for, again, for our YouTube audience.
I hate those and I love
Just the
them.
most incredible photographs. The Will They Won't They Gimli
Yeah.
Legolas cover of the Two Towers.
We I need to see the Hobbit one. The Hobbit one's the best. There it is. Yes. That's so good. That is the
It's
best. That is the
iconic.
best. This is the best cover of the Hobbit that you can find. Um,
There
Steven,
is not a better one.
I want to hear what you're up to as far as reading, but before that, I'd like to read maybe a word from our sponsor.
Please do.
Um, so our sponsor Tether is a Louisville-based software company. We've been using Tether's system pretty much just to organize our contacts, automate our email and text marketing, and make it way easier to post on social media with their media planner. It does a whole lot of stuff for us, and we love it. We love Tether. We love the company. We love the people, and it's at a price point that small businesses can afford. It's super simple to use, and their customer service is awesome. If you want to know more information about this, go to our Instagram, and it's in the bio there. It's also going to be in the description of this episode on whatever you're listening to it on. So if it's on Spotify, it'll be in there. If it's on YouTube, it'll be in there. You'll be able to get more information there. Um, so, Stephen, tell me what you've been reading because I know that you've been reading a lot more than I have.
Yeah, so I knew that I was gonna drop off out of January, right?
Mhm.
Because no matter what your resolution is, whether it's reading, working out, eating better, whatever it may be, once you get past January, that's when you go into like slump mode hardcore
Yeah.
if you're not careful. So I was very intentional. Like I actually put together a February reading list of 10 books. So it was basically like a sub goal
Mhm.
within the larger goal of the year. It's like, okay, get through 10 books in February. I did, what, 16 in January, something
Mhm.
like that. It's like, okay, February is slightly shorter. I don't think I really had any carryovers. I didn't have one like 90% of the way done at the end of January that I counted for February. So it was like, all right, let's do a reasonable lower amount, that kind of deal. So I chose 10 and I've read 7. I'm on 8,
Nice.
and then I'm waiting for 9 and 10 from the library. Or no, I have the paperbacks of 9 and 10, but I also want to get audio, but we'll see what happens. Um, so, what I've read so far, I don't think I'm going to talk about every single one of them because that feels
Sure.
obnoxious. Um, all right, some fun, like, background audiobook was Under the Banner of Heaven. The one, oh, bubbles. Under the Banner of Heaven, which is about like these
Very
murders that were
fun.
committed by Mormon fundamentalists, and hard to hear about the actual like thing that happened, but
Yeah.
fascinating historical account of like the Church of the Latter-day Saints and um, just basically their whole origin story, and then up through almost present day, a full history that's kind of thrown in throughout the book. That part was fascinating. I mean,
Yeah.
the actual story was fascinating too. It was just very dark and kind of difficult to listen to, but really
Yeah.
great book. Same author as Into the Wild, which I had talked about on an episode last year. Um, yeah, he's just a really great like journalistic author.
Yeah.
So
You need to watch that
um,
show
really,
still.
yeah, yeah, we'll see. Um, okay, so a really fun one, and again, I audiobooked this one, but it had been on my want to read list for a couple years, I think, and it's called How Iceland Changed the World. Um, if you follow us on social media, I had written an article about this
Hmm.
book because I liked it so much, which you can check out for more details. But just super fun. The author is Icelandic, and he just has this vibe of like loving his country and its history, and he just wants to tell you about it. And
Hmm.
even if you have no idea what half of it means, like it just makes you happy listening to how happy he is about being Icelandic, and
That's awesome.
it literally just made me happy to listen to. And it was fascinating how oddly connected Iceland, of all places, is to a lot of major historical events. Really, really interesting. Um, Killers of the Flower Moon, which everyone knows about now because of
Hmm.
the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. Um, so that one, and I have to say, my wife and I basically have our own book club for the two of us, and it's this year it's basically book to screen adaptations that we're reading. So we each have picked three, and the first one we did was Killers of the Flower Moon. So I think next we're doing Daisy Jones and the Six, the
Oh, nice.
Amazon one. Um, yeah, so we got through Killers of the Flower Moon. If you liked the movie, read the book because it's honestly kind of way better. Um, yeah, we both agreed that we liked the book significantly more than the movie.
Hmm.
Um, it was paced differently. They kind of chose a different quote unquote main character to follow through the whole thing.
Interesting.
Um, and that made it a little bit more engaging, I think. And yeah, really, really, really well written book. The interesting thing is, so it's very like journalistic and historical account, but it reads like a murder mystery thriller, which I
Hmm.
thought was really fascinating. And it's not in like an untasteful way or anything like that. It's still
Sure.
very professional, but it reads more like a fictional murder mystery than an actual like here's a dry historical account of what happened. And so that kind of makes it really fascinating as well. And so that's well, I don't I'm gonna put like a 30-second spoiler disclaimer right here, right now.
Okay.
So
There's a
just
spoiler upcoming. I also have not seen the movie or
so
read the book. So,
okay, you should be fine hearing this. It's not
okay.
spoiler, it's just yeah. Um, okay, so if you don't want to hear anything, hit the 30-second forward button right now. Basically, in the book, you don't know who the culprit is until the last third of the book. in the movie, they're pretty clear about it, like from the top, which is odd as a
Sure.
choice in my mind. So that it's not going to be a crazy spoiler for you because it is what it is just in the movie, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but that's where I would say like maybe even try to read the book first just because there's more intrigue to it and they kind of hold back on who is the person behind what's going on
Yeah.
until the last third of the book, and then it's like a reveal, and you have all this tension built up of are they actually gonna get this person, and yeah, like super super well done. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, really great book. Absolutely recommend it. And the movie is very good as well. It's not, you know, it's a Martin Scorsese movie. It's very good.
Sure.
I went back and read Pride and Prejudice.
Mhm.
Uh, fantastic. No notes. There's a reason it's a classic. I
Yeah.
have I have several notes that I took through the book, and like I annotated that one really heavily. Um, really enjoyed it. It's such a good story. It's
That's on my list for
so
this year.
well written. Yeah, delete. Yes, it absolutely. It's so good. I read the first in my trilogy of Theodore Roosevelt biographies. It was a 750-page tome on the
Mm.
first third of Roosevelt's life. It was fascinating. I did
Yeah.
not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. Um, he's such a magnetic and interesting person that even just reading about him 100 years later, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be around this guy.
Yeah.
Like, fascinating person. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Blazed right through it. Can't wait to get to the next two.
That's
Um,
crazy to me.
and then probably, yeah, I know. And then probably my favorite one that I've read this month was called Murder Your Employer.
I've heard of this one.
It's Yeah, so it's kind of like a comedic murder, not even murder mystery. It's not a mystery. Um,
Comedic murder.
yeah, there's basically it's set up as like there's this school, this top secret school that teaches people how to commit murder. If you flunk out of the school, they kill you because they can't have people knowing about it. I think if you fail to actually commit the murder that you are learning how to do, they fail you, meaning
Sure.
they kill you. Um, but it's really, really funny. So this was one that I read and listened to at the same time. It's very like dry, dark humor, but not like over the top dark humor.
Hmm.
Like dark in the sense that it's about murder and stuff, right?
Sure.
But it's not like, ooh, I feel like a bad person. It's not that at
Right.
all. Um,
That's good.
and the audio portion, a portion of the audio book is read by Neil Patrick Harris, and he's a fantastic narrator.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. So those are some of the highlights of my February. There's another one, but we'll talk about it on a different episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was it?
that's that. Psalm for the Wild
Can you?
Goat.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like you. Okay. I feel like you would
When
have
we
told
can
me if you liked
dedicate
it.
more time to it, when
Okay.
we can dedicate more time to it,
Because I did
we'll
read the
talk
second
about it.
one. I did read the second in the
I'm going
series.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
going to
enjoyed it.
for sure.
Yeah. So I think what we should do is going forward, you read that second one, and then we'll do an episode talking about
Okay,
both of them.
the whole thing.
Bef- Before
Okay.
we do that, though, can you tell me what you thought about it off air?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Or
absolutely.
like, just let me know if you liked it overall,
Okay, okay, I
because
will.
that's all I care about. Um, so I
I'm gonna
read
keep the
another book.
listeners in suspense though.
Yeah, perfect. That's works for me. Um, Another book that I did read was called The Silent Land, which I also want to talk about on another episode. Um,
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like uh about to fall asleep. I just got tired. Um, it's called The Silent Land. I read this with a friend of the show, Josie Tegethoff. Um, if you listen to our Halloween Spooktacular, she was our guest for that. We did like a buddy read kind of deal. Dude, it was fantastic. It was so good. It's like
Good.
a literary fiction, like speculative fiction, horror adjacent kind of deal. Um, made me cry, which is not hard to do, and
Oh,
like it's not like uh it's not like a big thing, but it was so emotionally charged like the whole time. Um, and it
mhm.
deals a lot with like life, love, grief, death, loss, all that stuff. Um, it was beautiful, dude. Like I am so excited to talk more about that. Um, I wish that we could talk more about it right now, but I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, nice.
So there's like footsteps like outside in the hallway. I was like, like really coming to tell me to shut up. Um,
While Matthew worries about that.
yeah. So going forward, what book are you working on right now?
So right now I'm only reading one book at the moment. I'm reading the fourth and final in the Star Wars Old Republic series.
Sweet,
Um,
sweet.
yeah, so I'll definitely devote an episode to talking about that series a bit. Um, Ups and downs for sure.
Hmm.
So far, this one's been good.
Good.
Um, yeah, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. They've all been fun reads for sure.
Do you
And then I
know?
think I
Sorry.
think I'm gonna do the Thrawn trilogy at some point this year
Okay.
as well, because that's supposed to be like top tier Star Wars reading. And I may have just ordered the original paperback set, like from the early 90s.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I have a question.
yeah, yes.
Where do you start with the Star Wars books? Does it matter?
Um, it it doesn't necessarily matter. I think it depends on what era you enjoy the most.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, so there's books that are like pre all the movies. There's books that
Sure.
are leading up to the prequel trilogy and then taking place at the same time or right after. So then there's a whole set that happens between the prequels and the original trilogy. Then
Okay.
there's a whole bunch that happen after the original trilogy. Um, it gets complicated there because you have like the official Disney
Sure.
canonized
Sure.
version of post original trilogy, and then you have the Legends ones.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's where it gets a little bit murky. I'm going more down the path of, at least right now, the original Legends stuff
Hmm.
instead of what's been kind of redone and canonized.
Sure.
Just because, from what I understand, the original Legends stuff is a little bit better, even if it's not quite as well put together
Sure.
um,
Okay.
into one
Cool.
narrative.
I was
So
just
that's
curious
kind of where I'm
because
at. But I've been in the Old Republic portion, which a lot of that has been written since Disney took over, but
yeah.
no film or TV show has occurred in that era. So it's very open, you know.
So you should go. So Book and Music Exchange in Louisville, um,
Yeah.
on Barstown Road. I went there, and they had like an entire shelf of Star Wars books,
Ooh.
um, like full of Star Wars books. So
Okay.
that might be you might need to go there, and I also need to go there because I want to
Yes.
read some of the Star Wars books.
We should go there together.
I would love that. That it's almost like we're
Easily
friends outside of
arranged.
the podcast. Yeah,
I know.
we gotta go bowling too again.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You just have to get
Oh
back
man,
to, America.
I wish I was there instead, bowling with you instead of being here. Man,
In stupid London.
oh man, I hate that I'm on vacation in another country right now. God,
I know, I know.
some guys have all the luck.
Um, yeah, yeah, and it's me in this situation
It's you,
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, oh man. Well, do you want me to say the things?
I would love for you to say the things. Sorry that this episode is shorter,
All right.
y'all. It's just it's tough to do this overseas. It makes this very difficult. I will say.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make it's a whole different animal.
Yeah,
And we haven't done a podcast not in person in
long time.
months upon months.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
Also
this
before,
is kind of wild too. This is like a throwback.
yeah. So speaking of that, our first like mini episodes were done remotely. Um, we have just hit 1 year of existence. So this is the first episode that will come out since 1 year of Bro Read This Book. Just want to say, if you've been here for any length of time, whether this is your first episode that you've listened to or the 20th episode you've listened to, because I think this is episode 20, um, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of that, all of the support. If you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, it makes a huge difference. We've already seen a lot of people give us reviews recently, and it has made a difference in the plays that we've gotten. It means a lot to us, but it also helps other people decide if it's something that they're interested in. So if you have 5 seconds, whatever you're listening to it on, just hit the hit the stars, write a review, please. It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
We
we
appreciate
very
it.
much appreciate it. And that fits very nicely into what I'd say almost every episode, except for the times that I forget, which is that the most valuable thing that you have is your time. And if you've spent the last 30 minutes hanging out with us talking about books and trips to far off places like England, um, we just really appreciate it. And if you've spent a year with us, like listening to this show and hearing us figure it out and stumble through it and get a grip on what's going on and have kind of followed our journey of, becoming much more like avid readers and just followed along with us in that. And we appreciate it immensely. It's when you have these moments where you can stop and realize like, whoa, we've been doing this for a year,
Yeah.
consistently for a
Yeah.
year, and we're still going strong. And we still have an audience that's like stuck with us and is growing and interacting. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for spending not only the last half hour with us, but for spending the last year with us, if that's been you. Um, very, very much appreciate that. Kind of surreal to even
Yeah,
think about.
absolutely. That's what I was gonna say.
So we absolutely appreciate it. And I don't know how this is going to work with the delay, but let me just say now this
This is
is
podcasting.
podcasting. Yeah.
We almost
Got it.
got it. We almost had it.
No, I think it was perfect.
Oh, you know what? It is what it is, and it's perfect the way that it is. Because when things are
Exactly.
when it is what it is, that's just how it is.
When you is what they be, they are.
When it is, it's just it is, and it'll be. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
I'm so
You
tired,
can lead a horse to pennies, but
but you can't make it. Yep. All right,
all
man.
right, we need to cut this
I'm gonna
recording.
end it. Bye bye.